family, I'm Logan, and this is Lauren.
And we're going to open a pack of Magic the Gathering Innistrad double feature.
It is springtime in Arkansas, so you may hear a little bit of thunder and a little bit of rain coming out from behind our window. And also, that means that allergies are in full swing, so Allison is off camera today helping us out because she has no voice to be a part of this video. So, without further ado, let's get to it.
Okay.
Lauren's going to struggle to open this pack. All right.
Oh, yay. I forgot that they were black and white.
So this is the Innistrad double feature, which has cards from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, and they are all in black and white. Super cool looking cards. And just as a reminder, anything over $1 is going to go onto our TCG store, and I'll have a link to that in the description below for you.
First up we have Candlelit Calvary.
This is a 4-green human knight creature with Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, Candlelit Cavalry gains trample until end of turn. And it is a 5/5 human knight creature. What's next?
Drownyard amiguellum.
Drownyard amiguellum. That's what we're calling this. Drownyard amalgam is 4 and a blue for a 3/6 zombie horror creature. When Drownyard amalgam enters the battlefield, target player mills 3 cards. And the reminder text for mill, they put the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. It has an activate ability for 2 and a blue. Drownyard amalgam can't be blocked this turn. And it has the rules text. When human corpses are in short supply, Stitchers get creative.
That is horrible.
Everything in Innistrad is horrible. What's next?
Arden elementalist.
Arden Elementalist is 3 and a red for a 2/1 human shaman creature. When Ardent Elementalist enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And the flavor text says, while the Dawnheart Witches focus their magic on nature and community, other covens consort with devils and twist the elements to their will.
Now this one is even more horrible. It's called Eaten Alive.
Eaten Alive. Eaten Alive. Eaten Alive is a single black mana for a sorcery. It says, as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 3 and a black, and you can exile target creature or planeswalker. Nice little set of cheap removal if you've got an extra token laying around. Flavor text says, if you hear a groaning noise in the cellar, don't investigate, don't split up, just lock the door and barricade it. And that is from Emily Guard Captain. Emily Guard Captain? That's an interesting way of spelling Emily.
Pointed Discussion.
Pointed Discussion is 2 and a black for a sorcery from Crimson Vow, and it says you draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, then create a blood token. And that blood token is an artifact with 1 and tap to discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, and draw a card. Next.
Next is Scattered Thoughts, which is a bunch of brains in jars.
Scattered Thoughts is 3 and a blue for an instant from Crimson Vow, and it says, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of those cards into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. The flavor text says, Stitchers delegate the most important tasks to assistants with a good eye for detail. I love the colored borders around the black.
Yeah,
I think that looks super neat. What's next?
Traveling Minister.
Traveling Minister is a great card in Limited, at least it was in Crimson Vow Limited. It is a single white mana for a 1/1 human cleric creature from Crimson Vow. And it has a tap ability. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. You gain 1 life, and you can activate this only as a sorcery. And its flavor text says, priests of the Sigardian sect travel to the farthest reaches to spread hope and healing, even in the darkest times. What's next?
Bulgarian epicure.
Close enough. Volatile Epicure is a single red for a 1/1 vampire creature from Crimson Vow. And it says, when Volatile Epicure enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you create a blood token. And the flavor text says, if you're not refining your taste, what's the point of living forever?
Okay, we're at the uncommons now. Jerograph Rebirth.
Diagraph Rebirth.
Oh.
Close enough. Is 3 black-green for a sorcery from Midnight Hunt. And it says, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn, and return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It has flashback for 5 black-green, and flashback means you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it.
This one is a double card.
Ooh, a double-sided?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Village Watch.
Village Watch is the top side. It is 4 and a red for a 4/3 human werewolf creature from Midnight Hunt. It has haste and daybound, and as a reminder, daybound, it says if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. So if it's not day or night when this enters the battlefield, it'll become day, and then if a player casts no spells during their next turn, it becomes night. And when it becomes night, because it's a werewolf, we will flip it over to the other side. By the way, the flavor text on this side says, you have my word, you'll see no wolf attacks while we're around. And then if you flip it...
It is Village Reavers.
Village Reavers is a 5/4 creature werewolf. And it says, wolves and werewolves you control have haste. And of course, it has Nightbound. So if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day next turn, and we flip it back to the other one. And the flavor text on this one says, with no guards to be seen, the cobbled streets of Gatstaff echoed with howls. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Next is Retrieve.
And our next uncommon is Retrieve. This is 2 and a green for a sorcery from Crimson Vow. And it says, return up to 1 target creature card and up to 1 target non-creature permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile, retrieve. The flavor text says, the roots preserve the armor for 100 years, safeguarding it for a traveler in need.
Okay. Next is Grooms Finery.
Grooms Finery is another uncommon. This is 1 and a black for an artifact equipment from Crimson Vow. And it says equipped creature gets +2/+0. It gets an additional +0/+2 and has death touch as long as an equipment named Bride's Gown is attached to a creature you control. And its equip cost is 2.
Next is Storm the Festival, and it's a rare.
Storm the Festival is a rare from Innistrad Hunt. It is 3 and triple green for a sorcery. And it says, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put up to 2 permanent cards with mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And it has flashback for 7 and triple green. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it.
This one is a double-sided mythic rare called Volatile Arsonist.
That would be Volatile Arsonist.
There we go.
It is 3 and 2 red for a human werewolf creature, a human werewolf creature from Crimson Vow. It has menace and haste. It's a 4/4 in case I didn't mention that. And whenever Volatile Arsonist attacks, it deals 1 damage to each of up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target player, and or up to 1 target planeswalker. And it has daybound, so if it becomes night, it flips over into a 5/5 creature werewolf called
Dire Strain Arcanist.
Dire Strain Anarchist, which is a 5/5 creature werewolf with menace and haste, and whenever Dire Strain Anarchist attacks, it deals 2 damage to each of up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target player, and or up to 1 target planeswalker. And that side has Nightbound, so it'll flip back over when it becomes day.
Okay. And then we have a shiny Crushing Canopy, which is a common.
A common foil Crushing Canopy. It's 2 and a green for an instant from Crimson Vow. And it says, choose one, destroy target creature with flying, or destroy target enchantment. And the flavor text says, the forests of this world are unafraid to assert themselves. And that is from Wren. Did we have a fancy land in this pack?
No, sadly.
Didn't have a fancy land in this pack. That's sad.
Yeah.
All right, the most expensive card in this pack was $2.03 for that volatile arsonist, and everything else was less than $1. The Bulgarian epicure is about 80 cents, and of course all of this is at time of recording. And the entire pack altogether is worth about $5.90, which is about half of what we paid for it. So way to go, double feature.
Yeah.
But these cards look really, really cool, so I'm looking forward to adding them to the collection anyway, even if they're not cards we're going to get a lot of extra money on. All right. Thank you, Lauren, for your assistance. Thank you, Allison, for your assistance off camera. Thank you, family, for checking out another Kraken Pack video from Smith Family Game Night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from us. Also, which of these cards is your favorite? Put that down in the comments below. And if you have a specific pack or a set that you'd like to see us open a pack from, whether it's Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or any other TCG, be sure to let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to do that. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.